Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Antie Joan and Auntie, providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hey, Antie Joan.
Hi, Auntie. How you doing?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay.
Oh,
Yep.
good.
Thanks for asking.
Sure. We had a nice little gathering at Auntie Mary's house for Memorial Day.
Oh, we sure did.
Even though the weather was gloomy, our spirits were all high and we were all having a good time.
Now, we were not high, but the
Well, we might have
spirits
been a
were
little.
high. Well, oh.
No.
See, you should have slipped. Was it an edible?
No. Like a Flintstones chewable? It's about as
Maybe next
hardcore as I
time.
go.
Maybe next time we could try that.
Oh, God. I don't know about that.
Oh, I think it might be fun.
But yeah, good food, good laughs.
Very good food.
Everybody was there. It was a good times.
Good times. Yes. Auntie made these vegan Reuben sandwiches. I can't get over them. They were so good. They tasted just like Reubens, and I love Reubens.
I was very, very concerned about making that because seitan is a meat substitute that you make from Vital Wheat gluten. I did make it homemade because it is relatively easy. It just takes a long time. Well,
how do you make it? Where do you start?
So you get just like a bag of flour. Vital Wheat gluten comes in a bag like that.
Oh.
So it looks like flour, but it is definitely has gluten in it because it's Vital Wheat gluten, but it's very low in carbohydrates, extremely low, very high in protein. 20 grams of protein per serving. It's a very good protein source, and that's why it's part of the vegan repertoire, I guess I should say. So I think it was 2 cups of that, and then probably vegetable stock and spices. I'm sure lots of spices in there because I know there was fennel seed and caraway seed if I recall correctly. I'm sure garlic powder, onion powder. I can't remember what other spices, but I can put out the recipe if anybody wants to see it. And I might be getting confused between the marinade and the and the Vital Wheat gluten because they both had spices in it. So the Vital Wheat gluten is, gets you that. It looks like a meatloaf in a nutshell is what it looks like, the shape and all that. And then you steam it for an hour in vegetable stock. Once that's done, then you can put it into then I sliced it. I let it cool completely, sliced it up, then made the marinade, which was truly the Reuben part of it. Put that in the marinade, which you're supposed to, they said anywhere from 1 to 2 days. And I did it for a day because I started the recipe a little late. But I only steamed it for the least amount of time that was listed because sometimes seitan can get too rubbery texture if you're not careful with it. So for this, I wanted everything to stay soft and juicier kind of thing. But when I sauteed it up, it got a little bit crispy on the edges, but not super hard or anything like that. That's what she said. I definitely steamed it for the least amount. I think it was like 50 minutes. And normally, like when I make vegan sausages with seitan, it's a full hour in the steamer because I want those to be firmer because I want to be able to slice them or grate them or, chop them up so they come into like sausage bits or whatever. I don't know if you had any of the deep dish pizza bites that I made.
I didn't.
That had seitan sausage in it with peppers and onions as well, with vegan mozzarella sauce and all that.
I think I still have some in my refrigerator.
You do?
Yeah, because Mary put a couple in a little baggie for me, and it's kind of gotten pushed to the back of the refrigerator. I'll have to dig those out.
I think you need to eat that. I was surprised at how well those were received as well. Again, because it used seitan, and I'm just like, yeah. I almost made the Reubens with tofu, and then I said, I really want to make it with the seitan. I thought you guys would be a little bit more palate friendly to tofu, something that you've had, versus something brandy spanking new that is quintessentially vegan. I mean, anybody can eat it, but mostly vegans eat this kind of stuff. So I was just like, but you all really liked it. It was quite a shock.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that turned out the way it did.
Yeah, it's interesting. It comes from wheat, right?
So you can actually make your own Vital Wheat gluten. So you can take flour, actual flour, put it in a tub of water and keep massaging it, and all of the starch comes out of it, and you end up with a Vital Wheat gluten. I've never done that. It's a process, and I'm too lazy, to be quite frank, and it looks messy. I don't like mess.
So that's why it looks more like a protein or a meat substitute than a wheat, a bread thing.
So you're taking out basically all of the carbohydrates are coming out of it in the water process. It's not like a 1-to-1 ratio. It's like a 4-to-1. 4-to-1, 4 water, 1 part flour to make it into the Vital Wheat gluten in a nutshell. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. And then, with the bag that I buy, they take that and dry it and then grind it, and that's how it comes in the powder, like flour substance is what I use. But you can make it directly from flour. I just never have. Every time I see a recipe, I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. And then I'm like, God, that looks like a pain in the ass. So someday.
Now, wasn't one of the participants at the Memorial Day feast anti-gluten or no?
Who?
Well, I was thinking Anne, but I guess not, huh?
That was the other Anne.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Who was not there.
That's right. And I made my everything but the kitchen sink potato salad.
That was a huge hit. Everybody loved that. And Antie Joan made me this ginormous side portion using vegan mayonnaise and no eggs. And it was incredible. And I won't even tell you how disgusting I was and when that was really gone.
You know what the secret is?
What's that?
It's the yellow mustard. Yeah.
Like French's?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love French's. That's all I buy now.
Yeah.
Ever since I reintroduced myself to, I loved it as a kid because other families had it. We didn't. And I always loved it back then. And then I just reintroduced myself to it like a year ago, 1.5, 2 years ago, something like that. And that's all I buy now. Now I buy like specialty ones for like certain things, like when I make the pretzels or the pretzel bites. I'll get like a good grainy mustard to go with that. But if I'm making a sandwich, 99% of the time it is French's mustard. And about 1% is Dijon. That's what I'll lean towards. Yeah.
Well, when I make my Chicago hot dogs, I use the French's, period.
French's.
Well, and then all the other stuff, accoutrement that goes on it. Yeah.
Oh, and how were those hot dogs at Auntie Mary's? Were they Chicago?
No, they were hot dogs. I just put mustard on them because it's all, to make the real Chicago hot dogs, you got to have the pickle, and she had pickles there, but chopped onion, and tomato, and
tomatoes on that, really?
Dill pickle, celery salt. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And good baked beans. And
I didn't have that, but I had the bean salad, and that was delicious.
It was, very good.
That I finished when I got home. Nope, next day. That one was next day. I ate almost all of your potato salad when I got home that night because I'm gross. And it was too good. And I kept putting it away, and then I would take it back out. And then I'm like, you got to calm down. And I couldn't because it was too good.
Usually it's very labor intensive to make that thing. But of course, watching on the internets and the streams and the reels, I came across this woman who was pushing those salad chopper little things.
Oh.
Where you put the thing on, and then you put the thing down, and it chops it. So I thought, I bet I could use that with some of these. So I did the potatoes that way.
You did?
Yeah. You have to slice them into layers and then put those down so you get cross cut. What else is in there?
Try the onions, no?
Yes, the onions.
Yeah.
And then I have a mandolin that I use for the celery and the radishes and the pickles and the fingertips and
mandolins scare me. That's my cut, right?
Yeah.
This cut right here. It's from mandolin.
Yeah, they do.
Or this one. No, it's this finger. Yeah, no joke. I hurt like a mother.
Yeah, worse than a paper cut.
Oh yeah. Would you be willing to share your recipe with our listener?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, get it written up there, sister.
I do have it written up and all crossed out because I got it from one of my cookbooks, and then I just kind of massaged it. But I've got crossed out what the original was and have documented in there what I do. And so, yeah.
Good. This will help Auntie Mary's sister know how you cook your potatoes.
I don't get it.
I get it. I get it 100%. Because either you can make potato salad that's on the mushier side, or you can be a little too hard. That's what she said. But yours come out positively perfect.
Well, it's a miracle because here's the thing. For the first, well, I don't know if I've used them before, but I use the yellow golden potatoes. Before I know, I use the russets, and somewhere I read, those are too soft. So I got the yellow Yukon Gold or whatever they are, and I put them in this big pot, and this is the same pot when I made lasagna that never got to boiling. Not to a rolling boil.
Right.
So
these potatoes don't either?
Well, no, they didn't. But that was an accident. It's not supposed to happen that way.
Well, it worked.
And I just put them in the pot, put some water in, put some salt in, which I've read you don't need to do that because it's going to all get washed off anyway. So you don't need to put salt in the water.
No, that's not true.
And then I just put it on the stove and turned the heat on. And once I sat down, I thought, oh my gosh, I bet that thing isn't going to boil. And it didn't. It never got to a big boil, but it just kind of hurt. You know what I mean?
Because they were perfect because they sliced nicely. They looked, that's why I was shocked that you actually used that chopper thing. Yeah. Because they were like perfect shape, all uniform size, and they weren't too hard. Like I said, they weren't too hard. They weren't too soft. It was positively perfect. So I get exactly what she was saying.
Well, those did turn out good, but that was the luck of the Irish. It was a miracle. I don't know. I just, like I said, I sat my ass down and I watched, and then I thought, well, I better get up and see if they're cooked yet. And I did, and I stuck a knife in it, and they were done. So I turned them off, and
well, it worked. They were delicious. It was a very, very delicious salad.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and we had Waldorf salad, veganized.
I didn't have that.
I had some, and I heard her, before I sat down, somebody asked, what's in this? And I heard her say there was curry in it. So I was already a little, now, there definitely was. I took a bite and I was like, oh, okay. But I ate it. I didn't die. I would have liked it better without the curry in it, but it wasn't terrible. And I told you, I want to get my palate to like curry. And there wasn't a ton of it in there. It was definitely there. Make no mistake about it. But it wasn't the whole, it wasn't the primary ingredient or a spice in it. It was palatable. But I did not go back for seconds, and I did not ask to take any home. And Anne understood, because she even said, when we sat down, she's like, Ellen, I don't know if you knew, but I'm like, I heard you tell somebody else that there was curry in it. And I said, and yes, I did definitely taste it. And she's like, yeah, I thought you didn't like curry. And I'm like,
so she went through the trouble of veganizing it and then put the blasted curry in it, huh? Well, this is the same lady that turned on her ceiling fan and then went up to dust it or whatever. Remember that?
I do. We should not be laughing at it. We can laugh at it now because it's a couple years after the fact. But yes, that did happen. And she sent a picture with a big welt on her head.
We love you, Anne. We really do.
Indeed. But yes, so it was a lovely gesture. I have to say, there was quite a few vegan things for me, that was very sweet, and I appreciate that. But hopefully everybody also got what they wanted out of it too. It was just me that was able to get all this wonderful veganness, but it was delicious.
And for some reason, the political speech kind of all went outside or something, didn't it?
Yes. I'm not usually a fan of boys being elsewhere from where the women folk are. I usually try and infiltrate because I don't like that. But the political speak stayed with the male folk and did not infiltrate the female folk. Yeah. So I ended up being just fine where I was.
Yeah. You know what? I used to feel the same way, but now, I don't care.
Yeah. Killian certainly enjoyed hanging out with the male. He doesn't get to be around testosterone very often. So when he can immerse himself amongst 3 or 4 guys, he's a happy, happy boy.
He was a good boy. I bet it was a lot for him.
Oh, he was fine. The reason he threw up a little bit out in the back patio, but he drank a ton of water. So he had a long car ride. Then he got there and drank a ton of water, and then he was all excited, and he just threw. I mean, it's very, very little, but disappointing that it happened, but for the most part, he did just fine. He did eat a piece of paper towel that came. I don't know if Uncle Hugh dropped it or Killian took it. I'm not 100% sure what happened there, but so he got in a little bit of trouble for that. But then he was sulking outside. He was like, "Well, I'm just going to stay outside." And I kept telling him, like, "Come on in." And he's just like, "Nope, I'm laying here." And I'm like, you lay there then. I'm going in here.
He does like his paper, doesn't he?
He does like his paper. Yes, that is true. But other than that, yes, he was very, very good. He was very tired the next day. He was out the whole day.
Yeah.
Exhausted.
Well, so was I.
Yeah. Did a lot of people pet you too?
No.
Oh.
No. But I got home and I fell asleep. I took a nap.
Yeah.
But I got up early for me, so
Yeah. It was a good time. Very, very good time. They throw a nice little pate. Yes. Indeed.
And Anne brought veggies from the A&J farms.
That's right. Fresh produce, folks. We are very lucky to have A&J farms in our lives. We got lettuce and arugula, and I got chives, and there was another spice that she brought, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, she brought some peppermint.
That was it. That's what the harvest was.
I have chives too, so if you need to take some home, you can cut some when you come down the next time.
Okay, thank you. I might just do that. I have some basil. Do you need basil?
Yeah.
I got a basil plant. I'll bring you some basil.
Where'd you get the basil plant?
The Lowe's. Every year I get a nice mature basil plant from Lowe's. And yeah, because I can't do it from seed. I'm not capable. And the little plants, they're fine, but it takes so long for them to get to where you can actually use them. So if you just get the maturing plant, it's not fully mature, but it is maturing. But it's got quite a lot of leaves. So it's ready for harvest for sure. I'll bring you some for sure. Cool.
Don't bring a lot.
I'll bring some.
Okay. I used to hate the summertime, but now I'm so into the summer produce and stuff like that.
Yeah. The watermelon.
Yes.
Auntie Mary got a watermelon from the King Supers that was positively delicious.
It was.
In May.
Yeah.
May of all time. She did not save us the rinds, unfortunately, as she should have, so we could have made the pickled watermelon rinds. Wow. But she did pick a very, very good watermelon. That was quite tasty for this early in the season.
Good. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I think there'll I see plenty more watermelon rinds in our future.
I think so.
And then we have Munson Farms corn that comes in July or the end of June. And then the Palisade peaches in August.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
And that's why I didn't have the Waldorf salad, because when it comes to fruit, I'm kind of a purist. I like my fruit plain. So when she chopped up the apples and put everything, just give me a good, delicious apple and I'm good. Except if you want to put it in a pie, then I take it in a pie.
Yeah.
Or if you want to. Maybe I'm not so pure after all.
And then on Memorial Day itself, I needed to go pick up my prescription. So Safeway, I get my prescription from Safeway, and normally I get like 1,000 texts from them. Like, your prescription's ready, later that same day. Don't forget we have your prescription. The very next morning, we have your prescription. Later that day, we have your prescription. I'm like, oh my God. I got none this time.
Really?
0. And I finally looked, I'm like, God, I feel like I'm running a little low on, when was this last filled? And it said like the 16th of May. And I'm like, what the hell? So I called, and you can do an automated thing where you put in the prescription number, and it said, your prescription's waiting for you. And I'm like, I got no text. So Memorial Day, I saw that they were open. So I said, oh, okay, I'll take Killian with me. We'll stop and we'll do a little walk first. I'll run in, grab my prescription, and we'll head home. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I do my little internet search and I find this Charlie Taylor water wheel. It's a paved walk somewhere. It's got a water wheel and it looks really pretty from the pictures. And it had like click here for directions. So I click there for directions. I don't know where the hell it took us. I don't know where this thing is. We could not find it. So we just ended up parking at the little park right down the street from Safeway, parked there, and then just walked up. And we didn't go all the way to like the shops on Minor Street. We like cut just before that and circled back. So it was like a mile maybe that we did. It was very short. But I was like, dude, I can't find this thing and I don't want it. And it was a very rickety road that they had me going on. And I'm just like, I don't like this. And it was up a big hill and there were no guardrails and it was like one lane. And I'm like, no. All I wanted to do, as soon as I got on, I'm like, all I want to do is turn around. But I had to go all the way up to turn around. And there was still not, I don't know where this thing was.
Wow.
So that was a big fail.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. We still got out. He still got some fresh air. I said I had to get my prescription anyway, so it was fine. But oh well. And you wanted to talk about the weather.
The weather. I can't believe how wet it has been.
Crazy.
For the last week.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe even a little longer than that. I kind of picture this is probably how Seattle is.
Yeah, I was just actually talking about that with my contractor today. I said, because he's like, I kind of like this weather. And he said for short durations. And I said, right.
Exactly.
Short durations. I'm like, because I could never live in Seattle. He's like, oh, no, definitely not. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I hear you. It's Seattle-like.
Because it's even wetter than the Midwest that I remember.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Midwest was usually humid and stuff. But
right.
Yeah, it just seems like it's been going on for a while. The good thing is about 3 weeks ago, I called to get my sprinkler system turned on. And at the time, I think we were having weather in the 80 degrees range. And the soonest they could get me in was the 30th of May.
Oh,
and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I just pictured all yellow grass. And I even toyed with the idea of maybe I need to just find somebody else to turn it on for me. But then I thought, no, these people I use all the time. So yeah, I'll wait. Go ahead. Let's put me in for the 30th.
So you're the reason we're getting the rain.
Exactly. Exactly. Because God or the goddess or the universe has nothing better to do with their lives than to make sure that my grass gets watered.
That's right. It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. And I'm so grateful for it.
Wow.
It really worked out well for me. And like you say, or like your contractor says, if it's a temporary situation, fine, we can take the rain. And as much as I hate the sun every day, I don't think I could live with the weather like this all the time either.
No,
so.
It just makes me tired.
Mm-hmm,
It makes I'm so unmotivated when the sun is not shining. It doesn't have to be full blasting, no clouds of any kind, but like partly cloudy with sun peeking in and out and all that. That's fine with me. It just gives me that burst of energy. Whereas this just, I don't want to do
Time
anything.
to get the blankie and put the recliner back and take another nap.
Oh yeah, the heat's still on.
Is
We're at the end of May. It's been on. I mean, it came on a bunch of times today because it's 50 degrees outside.
Well, you had a fire, didn't you? Have a picture?
Yes, the day after Auntie Mary's party, I lit a fire and Killian and I were butt to couch. I was reading and he was napping and we just chilled out that day because it was ick. It
looked wonderful. It looked wonderful.
It was a good snuggle.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Good times. Good times.
So I happened to come across a reel, REEL, also an Instagram by Dr. Pickle.
Oh, I like it already.
PhD. And you know what? It never hit me until this morning. Oh my gosh, why didn't I think of the connection between Dr. Pickle and pickled watermelon rinds? Did you get that right away?
That's why I thought you wanted to talk about him.
No, I came across it and I was so impressed with his description of things. We do have a clip that we're going to play for you, and you will hear how well he describes a motorcycle. Oh, Jesus. Mosquito bite. Now, this is a fair warning. If you have delicate ears, you may have an issue with this, but
And you shouldn't be listening to this podcast.
but what you cannot see from the audio is his wonderful graphics that he has also that really helps describe it. And I'm serious about that one. So anyway, let's roll it and let's hear what Dr. Pickle has to say about mosquito bite.
What the fuck is a mosquito bite? That flying syringe jabs 6 little needle dicks into your skin like some sort of fucking Bonnie Blue video. One of those nasty-ass needles injects mosquito saliva that keeps your blood from clotting and blocks your pain receptors, so you don't feel jack shit while it's sucking you dry like a cheap Capri Sun. Then, your immune system wakes up like, what the fuck was that? And you get that itchy, swollen fucking welt. So yeah, that itchy bitch-ass bump on your arm? It's a love letter from a bug with a PhD in biological warfare. Follow Dr. Pickle for more about your fucked up body.
So I think that pretty well describes what a mosquito bite is. And he goes and and he really kind of opens the doors and explains all kinds of things like a stroke, a hiccup, a sneeze, acne, a hip replacement. I find him very informative.
In an entertaining way.
Absolutely. And like I say, his graphics that he uses to show these things, I think really get the message home too. I think maybe a lot of the younger people, except of course for the language, would learn a lot from them also.
Yeah, it's very cute. I like the way he blurts things out and is very very non-formal for a PhD. I think that kind of is what heightens it. I do like the caricature he uses for his video. I've only seen the one. I did not expand beyond that, but I gotta believe that character, or his caricature, I should say, is in all of his videos, I assume. Yeah.
Look at the sneeze. That's pretty good too.
Okay.
He really explains, how the lungs work and how all that, it's just really gosh darn good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good find. How did you find him? It just came up in your reel,
I think it just came up in my reels one, and of course right away I had to subscribe or follow him.
Yeah.
So. Now here's something else.
Yes.
For future reference.
Yes.
Just like our buddy Steve Stevens.
Yes.
He does personalized videos too for birthdays and Mother's Day and what have you.
Dr. Pickle does?
Oh. And he's a lot cheaper.
Well, there you go. And if you ever wonder about anything that we've talked about on the show, we follow whoever we've talked about. So when we're on Instagram and or Facebook. So if we mention them on here and you forget and you're like, didn't they talk about somebody sometime? You can always go to our Instagram page and see who we're following and find it that way too. So just so you're aware. But of course, it's always in our weekly release notes or synopsis and all that. We usually provide the links and or references to what we've chatted about. If you can't find the episode, and you can always just go to our Instagram or Facebook and we're following them. Anything else you wanted to say about Dr. Pickle PhD?
Nope. I like him.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's a good one, folks. Check him out on the Instagram. Now, I needed to vindicate my lovely, wonderful Vince Vaughn and his poor performance, in my opinion, on Nona's. So I finally watched Bad Monkey on Apple TV Plus, and that's the Vince Vaughn I love. It's a 10-part series, folks. The synopsis from IMDb for Bad Monkey is: a detective turned restaurant inspector in Key West is pulled into a world of greed and corruption after a tourist finds a severed arm while fishing. And yes, there's a monkey. So that's their synopsis, which I really liked because I like that they talked about the monkey. And there is really a monkey.
There is.
It primarily takes place between the Florida Keys, which is probably the first several episodes is where it all started. And then it was kind of between the Florida Keys and an island called the Island of Andros in the Bahamas. Vince Vaughn plays a detective, and his name is Andrew Yancey. They call him Yancey throughout the whole show. Very rarely did you hear the Andrew part ever again. But he's basically trying to build a case and bring charges against this couple that does some serious damage. And I love Rob Delaney as the guy in the couple, and I love that man. I first saw him for the first time in Catastrophe with Sharon Horrigan, who's also plays in Bad Sisters. That show, if you've never seen Catastrophe, folks, highly recommend. It's older. It's on Prime. It's probably on other things now. I don't honestly even know, but I watched it on Prime way back when it first came out, and it was a series, and I loved it. And that's where I first met Rob Delaney. He's a comedian. He's just awesome. He's also had cameos in many other things, Deadpool being one of them. In his character in Deadpool was fantastic. Anyway, he's kind of playing a guy who just kind of rolls over for this chick that he fell in lust with, who is played by Meredith Hager, and she plays Eve, who is a complete and total psychopath. Manipulative psychopath crazy chick, but she's very pretty, and he's basically completely 100% pussy whipped, for lack of better terms. I don't even know what else to say. Anything she says or asks him to do, he does. He's killed. He cut off his freaking arm. I mean, this is an older series, so I feel like I can talk freely about it. I'm not spoiling anything. This was all out in 2024. I just didn't have Apple back then, so it's been out for quite a while, but it is just ridiculous. And Ronald Pete, who plays Neville, he's this poor guy on the island of Andros who he's a fisherman, but he doesn't have a pot to piss in, but he has his father built this house on the beach, and that crazy couple, the Rob Delaney character and Meredith Hager, they buy up the land on this island, and his house gets bulldozered, and so he hates them, so he joins forces with Vince Vaughn and Vince Vaughn's girlfriend, who honestly, her portrayal was fine. I didn't dislike her or really like her. That was Natalie Martinez that played Rosa, Vince Vaughn's girlfriend. I just thought she was average. She didn't bring that much to the character, in my opinion, but she was fine. She was fine. I don't have anything super negative to say about her. She just didn't have anything really outstanding to discuss. But Zach Braff is in it. I mean, seriously, when I saw him, I'm like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. He plays Israel O'Peel. He's a doctor who is addicted to drugs, and he was best friends with Rob Delaney's character growing up, and they hook up in their whatever age they were supposed to be in, I don't know. They ran scams, Medicaid scams together, that they would accept money from Medicaid patients to buy equipment like scooters and things like that, and they never delivered the scooters. They just kept the money, and it was this big scam, and it's crazy. But the person I didn't remember seeing, but apparently has been in something I've seen before. I just didn't remember her. But in this, she was strikingly beautiful. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, but that Jodie Turner-Smith that played the Dragon Queen, flawless. Like, I couldn't find an issue with her. I'm like, seriously? Don't you have like a snaggletooth I can kind of, something? Like, you can't be this.
Yes, she did have
She had the little gold thing, but that didn't bother me. It actually made her even pretty. Like, she was beautiful. Apparently, she was in this second murder mystery on Netflix she wasn't a main character, but she had a role in it, and her hair was very different. But that was with Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler. Because I looked her up, I'm like, how have you not been on the scene before? Are you like brandy new? And apparently she's not brandy new, but this role, I think, based on what I read on IMDb on her other roles, I only recognized her from Murder Mystery 2, all the other movies I never heard of. So I hope this is a breakout role for her, because she's stunning, beyond stunning. And then David St. Louis, he played Egg, and he's this guy who basically, as long as he was on the island of Andros as well, and as long as somebody paid him, he would do pretty much whatever they asked him to do. He murdered, he beat people up, he wrecked houses, vandalized houses and things like that, as long as somebody was paying him. But man, could that boy sing. He sang a couple of times, and he had an amazing voice. I know he was like a bad guy, but I really liked him a lot. And then
he had soul.
He really did. And then we got to see Alex Moffat post SNL, which was lovely. And he was the neurotic next door neighbor who built this monstrosity house next to Vince Vaughn's little, one story, ranch style home on the beach in the Keys, Florida Keys. and he built this ginormous monstrosity he was trying to sell, and they had this ongoing battle. Vince Vaughn would try to dissuade people from buying the house because, you know, he hated the house because it ruined some of Vince Vaughn's views and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I didn't even talk about Vince Vaughn's original girlfriend, who was a lunatic that liked to read books, and she apparently had sex with a student of hers back in the day, and she was on the lam for the cops and the feds trying to find her. And then she finally gets arrested, but they didn't indict her, so she got set free. And then she burned down that Alex Moffat house. So she could actually get incarcerated, but then she came on to a young guy at the prison, one of the prison guards, and she escaped, and she's on the lam again, and she was a hot mess. I don't even know what to say about her. And then John Ortiz was in it, and I love seeing him. He was in American Fiction. He played the agent for, what's that main guy's name from American Fiction? The one we saw in the movie theater? I can see him perfectly, and I can't think of his name. Damn it. He's been in a lot lately. He's even in The Last of Us this season. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But anywho, he was also on Will Trent, which we talked about previous episodes, a series that I watch, and he was Will Trent's uncle. So it's good to see him. He's good in everything he does too. Very happy to see him. And then there was Driggs the monkey, who was actually played by Crystal the monkey, so it was a girl.
Was that right?
It was a girl monkey that wore a diaper and everything.
That's probably why they had the diaper.
Awesome.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
Jeffrey Wright, I think.
Jeffrey Wright, that's him. Because yes, he's like he sounds like the comedian, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeffrey Wright. Thank you, Auntie Joan. Well done. Mm-hmm. Oh, and there was Tom Petty music played throughout the entire 10 episode series. Always redone, never Tom Petty singing. Always remade by somebody, slightly different melody, but always a Tom Petty song. I don't know why. I didn't research as to why they did that, but I loved it. But one thing I do have to comment on, folks. Okay. Some actors should have written in their contracts that I will not run on film, because some of them run and they look terrible. They should not do it. Vince, again, love you dearly. This was definitely a role made for you. The fast talking, the little quips every now and again, but still a story and still things that we could get involved in. But you should not run on camera. You, Edward Norton, should not run on camera. I've noticed that before. And what's his name? Bobby Cannavale. He ran in the movie Spy with Melissa McCarthy, and he was running like this. And his arms were flailing. I was like, you should not run on camera ever. And same thing with Edward Norton. I can't remember if it was Keeping the Faith movie or Fight Club. He runs around a corner and he flails his arms too. And he ran around a corner. I'm like, oh, pumpkin, no, don't run on film ever. And Vince wasn't quite as flailing, but it certainly didn't look good. Let's put it that way.
Maybe part of it was he's so tall.
He is. He's 6'6".
Yeah.
He is a tall. I mean, I knew he was tall. I thought it was more like 6'3", but he's 6'6" for Christ's sake. Yeah. That's ginormous.
So when you see these big arms and the legs going out, I think that might have, something to do with it. But.
Yeah. So this to me was a Vince Vaughn movie. It wasn't slapstick. It wasn't slapstick like the other stuff we talked about before, but he was quippy and fun, a little over the top from time to time with that. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. But it still felt more to me like his type of role, not Nona's. But that's me. Auntie Joan, what you got?
Well, I've been on Apple. I've never discontinued my membership. So I think I would see the name come up, and I would just discount it just because of the title, Bad Monkey.
It was a bad title. I agree.
Yeah. So I just don't even want to entertain the thought of wasting any time, like I have so much other things to do. But
apparently it was a book.
Really?
That's what I briefly read, that it was a book. And I was like, and somebody had commented that the series followed the book fairly well, but I didn't look it up.
Like I said, I just discounted it from the beginning. So then when I saw that you put this on as a topic, I thought, well, I should at least see what it's about because I know I had seen it before. When they started the show and they showed Vince Vaughn sitting in that Adirondack chair on his beach and the dock, and I was taken in at that very moment.
Oh my gosh.
Because I thought, like, heaven, I would love
the scenery.
Oh my gosh, just to be able to live on a beach like that and have the water. So it just went up from there. I mean, all the characters I felt had dimension, they had purpose. They all had stories, you know? They all added something to it.
Yeah.
And like you say, sometimes I thought Vince kind of went over the top, but I loved his little quips, though, that he would come up with. I did like the girlfriend, the new girlfriend.
Yeah. Not the book crazy chick.
His old girlfriend, I would say she has maybe 2% body fat. I couldn't help but notice that. She was
very thin.
Wow. But
very thin.
I mean, she still kind of looked good. So,
well, I have to say, because I considered the Dragon Queen thin, but she was very shapely. Like, I didn't find her like, oh God, hon, can I get you something to eat? Like, but that chick, that book chick, this crazy chick, she looked like I should be cooking her some meals.
Yeah, I mean,
it was just a little too much.
And I think maybe she must probably work out or something because she does have muscle tone. But and here I am sitting and critiquing her muscles and lack of fat. But yeah, the Dragon Queen, she was thin also, but yeah, there was meat on her still though.
Right.
And I loved her costumes.
Oh my God. Just gorgeous.
Yeah. The whole character and the hair, the braids, the earrings.
Yes.
The dresses. It was, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. I'd love to be a character like that.
Right.
To be that creative and whatever. And her grandmother. And
she was, that's right. I didn't talk about her. Yes. Loved her.
Neville. I loved him.
So
poor
cute.
Guy. Poor guy.
So cute.
And you know what, to me, really sucked me in.
What's that?
Was the narration.
Okay.
I really liked that.
Did not like it. I didn't love it. It was just there and it was fine. I thought it added well to the movie. It's interesting because one of the reviews I read, somebody said that the narration was terrible. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't agree with that either. Like, I guess that they were saying that the narration didn't help solidify the story. You know what I mean?
Or me,
right. And I was like, I didn't agree with that. So I'm glad you brought that up.
It would kind of go from one scene. It would help cross over into the next one. Like, well, and then after this then she said, this didn't affect her the way she would because of what was going to happen next.
Right.
Or something like that.
Right.
So yeah, he'd really sucked me in with that stuff. And I loved his dad, Scott Glenn.
Oh, he was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that Bonnie. Oh my gosh. She was crazy with it's just, no, I enjoy, I watched it in 2 nights. So that's how much it sucked me in. And I'm glad you mentioned it because it was well worth the watch, I thought. Yeah.
And I got to say, I had low expectations after seeing, my experience with Nona's. And I was just like, oh, Vince, please don't. You got to be good in this. And he was. I definitely kept up on it and all that. And I watched the first 5 episodes, I think, right away. And then I think I watched the next 2 and then I fell asleep and it played. So then I had to remember which one I fell asleep on. And not that the story was boring. I was staying up too late trying to fit it all in. Like, you could just watch it tomorrow.
I was shocked at what they did to the Dragon Queen.
I was too. That was a twist that I did not see coming.
Yeah.
So, but I liked the way they handled it too.
Yes, very much so.
I thought that was cool. And Lulu is going to be the next Dragon Queen.
Yeah.
It's a little girl. It's very cute.
And I could see some similarities between Vince Vaughn's character in this and Nona's. He was kind of self-deprecating in both of them.
Yes. It just wasn't as funny in Nona's for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm so glad you liked it.
Oh my gosh, I loved it. I loved it. I really did.
Oh, good.
And like I said, that scenery. Just if I could just live there and just wake up in the morning and go out and have my coffee in one of those chairs and just watch the water.
Yep.
Oh, and then the manatee,
Yeah.
Scott Glenn, Andrew, Yancey's father, having this experience with the manatee, and then Bonnie does
the crazy chick. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I have to hand it to those. I mean, writers, some of the writers out there today, they really do come up with good stuff.
Oh, yeah. I was pleasantly surprised. And like I said, it felt more to me like a true Vince Vaughn movie with his presence, how he was quipping throughout the whole thing, how he was being self-deprecating. Like that is more, in my opinion, his style. I mean, I guess you should try different things when you're an actor. And, some people do want to go from comedy into more dramatic roles and things like that. Not that Nona's wasn't meant to have some comedic moments, but it was, in my opinion, more of a drama than a comedy. And I just thought they could have picked a different actor for that. And I personally would have liked it a lot better, but nobody cares.
I see your point on that. Yeah.
Just feels like if they picked anyone else to play that role, maybe not anyone else, but somebody that was even like a Steve Carell, who's probably not the right person because I don't think he's Italian, because he has made the bridge between comedy and dramatic roles. And I think he, it may have been more receptive. I may have been more receptive to it, I guess I should say. Because a lot of people do like the movie. I mean, Nona's has gotten good reviews. It's and you liked it. So it's me, for my taste, like I said, I might have been able to buy it a little bit more if it was somebody more like a Steve Carell, not necessarily Steve Carell, but somebody like him.
Gotcha.
Oh, I'm so glad you liked it.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Yep. So yeah, folks, if you've been in a cave and you don't know anything about Bad Monkey, or maybe just turned off by the title like Antie Joan was, because it is a weird title. I mean, yes, there is a monkey in it, but that title really doesn't encapsulate or summarize in any way what this movie is about. There's gore in it too. I mean, gore, bloody gore, really.
Oh, that was...
The dog. Oh, that dog was awesome.
Another thing that really grabbed me is when they were on the fishing boat at the beginning.
Oh.
And they pull in the arm, and there it goes. It's up, and it's got the middle finger up.
Awesome. It's perfect. It was and then you find out more about that later, and it's just ridiculous. Like, it's just so good. It was well done. Now, I did see on IMDb that they made a space for season 2, and certainly it ended with the possibility, because he was sitting there with John Ortiz at the end, and he's like, why, what do you got? Fingers crossed we may get another season out of this. I think they'd be really hard pressed to beat this, in my opinion. So I don't know if I want to see a season 2, because I really liked what they did on this one. I don't want them to ruin it for me, basically.
Yeah.
We'll see how we go.
Yeah, I really liked him too, that John Ortiz.
Yeah, he's good. He has some a saddening moment, like episode 5, 6, something like that. Just made a choice that probably he regretted. And it was, but all in all, I think his relationship with Vince Vaughn's character was very cute. And I liked his family dynamic as well. And I just thought the whole thing, they just really nailed it. The only one that felt, didn't even fall flat, just was, okay, she was fine. For me was the second girlfriend, Rosa, Natalie Martinez. I thought she was fine, but I haven't seen her or anything before. I think I looked it up too. I didn't recognize anything that she had been in.
I looked it up. She's been in a lot of stuff.
Oh, really? Stuff I would have heard of?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know about that because most of them didn't sound familiar to me.
Okay.
But you know what? It said she's 5'8".
Oh.
And Vince Vaughn is like 6'6", you say?
What?
And there was one scene.
I was like, you going to help her out, man? Because she went to kiss him, right? Is that what you're going to talk about?
No.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it was at the end or towards the end or something. They're walking into a building. And she just looked like she was a lot shorter than that.
Well, he's just towering.
Yeah, I guess.
I think it was not at the very end. So it must have been like closer to like episode 8 or something. She went to give him a kiss and she was on her tippy toes already. And I'm like, I'm like, dude, you got to help out. You're too freaking tall. Like, what do you want her to do? Jump up and kiss you? He is a bit of a loud kisser too. I didn't appreciate that. That's my other little critique. But
maybe that wasn't him. Maybe that was the, what do they call him? Foley actor.
Oh, maybe.
Now that I mention it, I'm 5'8", and one of my grandsons is 6'6". So yeah, he's considerably taller than I am.
Yeah.
So,
How tall was Larry?
6'2".
Okay. Still tall. That's 6 inches taller than you.
Yeah. I had to use my fingers.
It's all right.
It's a good thing I got both arms.
That's right. That's exactly correct. Auntie Joan's doing the new math.
I got into that topic. Oh, were you there when I was talking to Claire about it?
I was. I heard you guys talking about it. Either I was talking to somebody. I must have been talking to somebody else at the time. So I heard pieces of it.
Yeah. I spend too much time on the reels and Instagram and come up with all this weird stuff. But hey, it keeps me entertained and it keeps the gray cells.
Keeps you out of trouble. I mean, I was on the internet, at Facebook, and between both the two of them most of the morning. I'm not even going to lie. I was rewatching the last couple of episodes just to refresh my memory to the point where like you need to put the phone down now. Like that's enough.
I'll tell you.
Sucks you in.
They know what they're doing.
They
do. Know, and they know how to rope us in. And
yep. Anything else you want to say about the Bad Monkey movie or show, series, whatever?
Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Sure. I'm glad you liked it. All right, Auntie Joan, anything else for our listener today?
Looks like another storm might be coming in.
Oscar's on the case, though. He's monitoring the conditions outside, twitching his tail, saying something's coming.
Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming.
Something good, right? What's that from?
Something's coming. The gangster move. The gangster.
Chicago.
It
It is? West Side Story?
Yes.
I love that. Oh, I love West Side Story. We used to watch that on the TV back when I was a kid.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we did.
Can I put my 2 cents in here?
Sure.
I would play the Broadway cast album all the time. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then finally it came onto the TV and I watched it. And I was just so disappointed because here's these gang guys that are supposed to be tough.
Dancing around
on their tippy toes. And no, couldn't do it.
Oh, man.
I'm a purist.
There you go. All right, then.
That's it.
That ought to do it. That wraps it for yet another wonderful Pickled Watermelon Rinds episode. This is Auntie signing off.
And Antie Joan saying bye-bye now.
We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.